Hey guys, Stan here. Today's topic that I want to talk about is how to make your TRT, your hormone replacement therapy, anabolic. How to make it anabolic without really increasing side effects, without doing a cycle, and keeping your dosages low for, just wanting to actually remain on TRT, but get way more benefits out of it for the most minuscule of changes. So, as we know, if you guys have read my androgen receptor downregulation article on my website or my video on YouTube here, you will know that I talk about and I link studies on how whether it's orals, whether it's longies or steroids, that 90% of the strength and size gains that are seen are within the first 6 weeks. And when they went to 12 weeks, double the time frame, they only saw a 10% extra gain in strength and size. And this was due to just having an anti-catabolic effect from it still. And this is why other studies on testosterone, they showed when they actually tested the androgen receptor content sensitivity, they noticed that for those first few weeks, the androgen receptors upregulated and then they downregulated again. And many people like to talk about particular studies on steroids upregulating androgen receptors, and they always quote the fact that they upregulate them, but nobody ever quotes. But those studies don't either check further into the protocol, or people aren't talking about or posting the studies that actually show, hey, come 6 weeks, the receptors are back down to normal. And why do receptors actually matter so much? So there is actually a really neat study where they had two groups of people and they had them resistant train, and what they showed was that, so regardless of the certain hormone levels, so somebody could have a high testosterone level, but if their androgen receptor sensitivity was low, they saw little to no gains. In those people that even, let's say, had they could have low serum testosterone levels, but their androgen receptor sensitivity was high, they saw the most gains. So we know that from studies showing that steroids upregulate androgen receptors for a short period of time, and the receptor content is what matters the most, and it matters so much that it is literally 90% of your strength and size gains, or you could say 100%, because you're only getting that 10% extra benefit past 6 weeks due to an anti-catabolic effect. um so yeah, that basically explains why it's why androgen receptors are basically the main cause and effect of the effects we see even from androgens, and why so many people on TRT talk about a honeymoon period where everything's great, their libido's through the roof, and they just feel great, and then they kind of level off. So what is a way to get around that? The most simplest solution is to blast and cruise your TRT, but not actually blast. So what I mean by that is, so let's say your TRT dose is an actual 100 milligrams, okay? Um, you're doing your TRT dose, you do that for however long you want, your body's kind of flatline, you're on it longer than 6 weeks. Then you give it literally the slightest of bumps. You can give a slightest bump to 125 milligrams, and that minor increase is going to be such an immense benefit, whether it's on strength, fat loss, muscle gain. Obviously, if you use more, it'd be an immense more benefit, but just the fact that your body is getting that small slightest bit of extra increase, it's going to be like it's going to be a whole new level of effects for you in your body to with your androgen receptors increasing. Now, I'm just using this as an example of the lowest dose possible. If this was somebody like me, since I'm not giving out suggestions, but if it was me, I would probably do something where I would do 6 weeks of my 100 milligrams CRT, and I would bump it 50 to 100 milligrams. So, I do 6 weeks of 100 milligrams, then I bump it to 150 for 6 weeks. After those 6 weeks, your receptors are down regulated again. You're not going to get any benefit. So you lower it right back down to 100 milligrams, and you let your receptors resensitize. Or again, like I said, you could bump it at 100 milligrams. You go from 100 milligrams 6 weeks to 200 milligrams for 6 weeks. You get all those amazing benefits, and then you drop it back down to 100 milligrams. Um, and when I say drop it back down to 100 milligrams for 6 weeks, you don't actually have to do the 6 weeks. With Test E, you can actually cut it more towards 4 to 5 weeks off. I notice things are kind of the sweet spot with 5 weeks, not off, sorry, but back to your cruise, your the level you want your receptors to actually sensitize to. So yeah, that's pretty much for this video. I know, kind of a short video, but not much more to it. I'll maybe upload the studies from my androgen receptor article here, for people who want to read those, the studies that show why androgen receptor content matters so much. You know, the higher androgen receptors you have, the more sensitivity, the more muscle gain you're going to see. And then the videos on, again, like I said, it was whether it was short Easters or long Easters, the anabolic effects basically stopped at 6 weeks. And there's even a study on a DECA with this, which is one of the longer Easters that most people use, where literally all the net gains were seen in the first 6 weeks. So it doesn't matter the Easter or anything like that. It's, once that dose is in you and it's raised, the effects are going to stop. So yeah, that's pretty much for this video, guys. I'll try and edit this and upload the studies, even though I hate editing. Thanks everyone for watching. Thanks everyone who subscribed, and thanks everyone who's sharing. That always helps me out immensely. Thanks to everybody who subscribes to my forum. Greatly appreciate it. Helps me out a lot. Yeah, and just thanks for watching my content, guys. Yeah, that's it for the video. All right, take care, guys.